Medyo malabo na. Okay, so once again, good morning everyone and welcome to Advanced Operating System po. Okay, so our first topic focus on orientation and current trends in operating system, no? So at the end of the lesson, no, you should be able to explain the course requirements, no, learning activities, assessment procedure, and graduate research expectation. So it described the historical evolution of operating system from early batch processing system to a modern distributed, no, cloud native, mobile, and AI-enabled environments. Critically examine major operating system trends affecting enterprises, cloud computing, mobile services, and artificial intelligence, edge computing at the same time. You can compare traditional operating system, virtual machines, containers, mobile operating systems, real-time operating system, and specialized AI platforms. You can identify potential graduate research problems related to operating system performance, security, resource management, sustainability, and emerging technologies. And lastly, evaluate how modern operating systems support organizational digital transformation and mission critical computing environments. No? So this course actually examine the principles, architectures, technologies, and research problems associated with modern operating systems. Unlike an undergraduate programs or undergraduate operating system course that may concentrate primarily on basic process scheduling, memory management, file system, device management, and this graduate course requires you, no, to critically evaluate how these concepts are implemented and transformed in contemporary computing environments. The operating system remains one of the most important components of a computer system because it serves as an intermediary between hardware resources, application software, network services, administrators, developers, and users. And I think no need for me to discuss or to differentiate the hardware resources with application software and users, no? Every enterprise application, cloud platform, smartphone, intelligent device, database server, cybersecurity appliance, and artificial intelligence system depends on an operating system environment that manage resources efficiently and securely. So you are expected to move beyond memorizing definition. You must evaluate competing architectures, analyze technical trade-offs, examine current research, and relate operating system technologies to actual organizational problems. Let's say, for example, you should not merely define virtualization. You should be able to explain when an organization should use full virtual machines, container, serverless computing, or bare metal deployment. So the specific requirement may be adjusted according to institutional policies, but a graduate level OS course may include class participation, scholarly discussion, technical presentation, laboratory or technical exercises, case analysis, research paper, or graduate research project, no? And written examination. Okay? So, graduate research should demonstrate originality, no? Dapat analytical depth, no? This time, technical accuracy and relevance. A topic such as Linux operating system would be too broad and descriptive. Tama po ba? So a more appropriate research topic would focus on a specific issue, population, platform intervention, or measurable outcome, no? So halimbawa, ang pwede nating gawing research, comparative performance evaluation of virtual machine and containers for university learning management system. Pwede namang adapted CPU scheduling using reinforced learning for cloud-based workloads. Pwedeng security evaluation of container isolation in multi-tenant enterprise environments. Or kaya energy-aware process scheduling for edge computing devices, performance impact of operating system patching on high availability database servers, predictive memory management using machine learning models, no? Or kaya, para simple lang, pwedeng comparative analysis of Linux and Windows Server for institutional web services, or anomaly detection using OS logs, no, for early identification of cybersecurity incidents, yung mga medyo nasa field ng cybersecurity dyan, or resource allocation strategies for artificial intelligence workloads and Kubernetes clusters, and pwede rin namang development of an intelligent operating system monitoring dashboard for higher education institution. Because again, research involving system development should include appropriate software quality criteria, and this may cover functionality, yung common, yung PARPs na ginagamit natin, no? Functionality, reliability, usability, performance, efficiency, compatibility, we have security, maintainability, and portability. So, for evolution of operating system, again, an operating system is a system software, no, responsible for managing hardware resources, executing application, organizing data, controlling access, and providing services to users and programs. And we need to take note that its major responsibility traditionally include, most commonly, no, process and thread management, CPU scheduling, main memory management, file and storage management, input and output management, network communication, security and access control, error detection and recovery, user interface services, and resource accounting and monitoring. So the earliest computer did not have operating system. Yun yung early computing system, right? Because programmers interacted directly with the hardware using, sabi nga nung bata pa tayo, sabi nga ni ma'am kanina, no, mga punch card, switches, or machine instruction, no? Only one program could normally be executed at a time, and significant time was spent loading programs and preparing hardware. Example, no, a programmer might reserve a computer room, manually load a program, execute it, observe the result, and then allow the next programmer to use the system one at a time during our time. No, expensive processor remain idle during much of this procedure. No, when we say batch processing system, it's just only a review of your OS during your college days, no, or undergraduate program. So batch system allowed jobs to be collected and executed in groups. No? A resident monitor automatically transferred control from one job to the next. And this reduced setup time but provided little interaction between the user and the executing program. Halimbawa, payroll transaction collected during the week, no, could be processed as one batch every Friday evening, because batch processing remains relevant today. Katulad ng banks, universities, retail companies, and government agency still use scheduled batch job for payroll, billing, backups, report generation, and large-scale data processing. When it comes to multi-programming system, multi-programming allowed several programs not to remain in memory. When one program one program waited for an input or output operation, the processor could execute another program. So this improved CPU utilization and introduced more complex scheduling and memory management requirements. No? Yun namang time-sharing system, it divided CPU time among many interactive users. No? Each user receive a short period of processor attention, creating the impression that multiple programs were running simultaneously. Modern multitasking operating systems are descendants of these models. Example, a user can listen to music, edit a document, participate in video conference, download files, and run antivirus software at the same time. Yun po yung time-sharing system. We have, of course, personal computer operating system. The growth of personal computers led to graphical user interface, desktop applications, plug-and-play devices, and we're so happy today, no? Multimedia and increasingly user-friendly computing. Katulad po ng Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, and desktop Linux distribution. These systems initially prioritize usability and application compatibility. Although modern desktop system now include advanced networking, virtualization, encryption, no, and security capabilities. No? Network and distributed system. As computer became interconnected, operating system began providing file sharing, remote access, distributed application, authentication services, and network-based resource management. A network operating system allows independent computers to communicate and share resources. No? A distributed operating system attempts to coordinate multiple machines so that they appear to user as a more unified computing environment. We have, of course, mobile and embedded operating system right now. Katulad ng smartphones, automobiles, medical devices, appliances, industrial machines, and wearable technologies created new requirements, including low power consumption, di ba? Ang kotse ngayon, ano? Touch-based, yung ano nga bang pangalan nun? Touch-based interaction, sensor management, wireless communication, application sandboxing, real-time responsiveness. Meron pang small memory footprints at saka yung hardware-specific optimization. Yan po yung mobile and embedded operating system. Cloud-native operating system. Contemporary computing increasingly treats infrastructure as programmable service. No? Application may run across virtual machines, containers, clusters, and multiple cloud providers. The traditional operating system has therefore expanded into a layered environment katulad po ng host operating system, hypervisors, guest operating system, container runtimes, orchestration platforms, service meshes, no? Serverless platforms, at meron tayong cloud management system under cloud native operating system. Kubernetes, for example, automates the deployment, scaling then, management of containerized application. Each smallest deployable computing unit is the pod, which may contain one or more closely related containers. Yan po yung Kubernetes. Okay? Current trends in enterprise operating system. Enterprise operating system support organizational application, databases, identity services, web platforms, analytics system, communication services, and mission-critical operation. Common enterprise platforms, katulad po ng Windows Server, no? Yung mga nasa database administrator dyan, or kaya system administrator, network administrator. Meron tayong Red Hat Enterprise Linux, merong Ubuntu Server, may SUSE Linux Enterprise, may Unix variants, no? Meron tayong mainframe operating system, and syempre, specialized network and storage operating system, no? Hybrid and multi-cloud management. Right now, no, many organizations do not place all their system in one environment. They maintain combination. On-premises servers ang tawag, private clouds, public clouds, multiple public cloud providers, edge computing location, at saka yung software as a service application. We need to take note that this configuration is known as a hybrid or multi-cloud environment. Right now, modern server operating system therefore need centralized monitoring, policy enforcement, identity management, configuration management, and security controls across geographically distributed system. Halimbawa po, a University of Perpetual may maintain its student information system on campus but host its website, online learning platform, backups, and artificial intelligence services in the cloud. Because again, as an IT practitioner, the challenge is not merely installing operating system, no? You, as administrator must ensure that authentication po, tandaan yan, backups, security patches, logging, and access policies remain consistent across all environments. No? Reduce downtime patching. No? Traditional operating system updates frequently require system restarts. No? So, because this creates difficulty for hospital, no? Especially for hospital, financial institution. Siyempre sa telecommunication companies, e-commerce services. Kanina narinig ko may mga e-commerce practitioner dito. And educational platforms that require continuously availability or continuous availability. Modern platforms increasingly support hot patching where selected security updates can be applied without immediately restarting the system. No? So ngayon yung bago, no? Ang tinatawag natin doon ay hot patching. No? Windows Server, no? Like say yung Windows Server 2025 ngayon, nagsusupport na po siya ng hot patching for eligible Assure Arc connected machine, allowing your organization to reduce service interruption while maintaining security compliance. Dati kasi, di ba, mag-update ka 12 midnight para wala nang gumagawa or wala nang gumagamit. Pero right now sa Windows Server 2025, it support hot patching for eligible Assure Arc connected machines, allowing you to reduce service interruption while maintaining your security compliance. Critical point, no? Hot patching does not mean that systems never require restart. Some updates, hardware changes, kernel modifications, or accumulated servicing requirements may still require planned reboots. No? So the trend is toward reducing unnecessary disruption rather than completely eliminating maintenance windows. So yung mga naka-assign dyan sa OS, no? I-suggest nyo na ang paggamit ng Microsoft or Windows Server 2025 na mayroon po yung capability na hot patching. Okay? What else? Excuse. Another po natin, siguro naririnig nyo na, no? Zero Trust Security. Gusto ko lang ano yung mga available ngayon sa market, yung mga current trends or emerging technologies when it comes to advanced operating system. Ang Zero Trust Security, kasi traditional network security assume that users and devices inside the organizational network could be trusted. Then modern operating environments increasingly adopt a zero trust model. So, sa zero trust, of course, follows the principle. Ano yung principle ng zero trust? Never trust automatically, always verify continuously. Yan yung kanilang principle. Again, never trust automatically, always verify continuously. Operating system contribute to zero trust by supporting ano yung mga available sa zero trust? Multi-factor authentication, device health verification, least privilege access, rule-based access control, disk encryption, secure boot, application control, credential protection, continuous learning, at syempre yung mahalaga, behavioral monitoring. Example, an employee connecting from a personal laptop may have the correct password but may still be denied access because the device lacks security updates or violates organizational policy. Nangyayari yan sa Facebook, di ba? Kapag, bakit kaya sa Zoom na lang, no? Mag-update ako, no? Kaka-update ko, mag-update ulit ako. Tapos kailangan kong i-update yung ganitong application para ma-update ko yung isa, no? Okay, another is immutable infrastructure. Ano naman po yung immutable infrastructure? An immutable system is not repeatedly modified after deployment. Instead of manually changing a running server, you as administrators replace it with a newly built and tested system image. So, This approach actually provides consistent configuration, easier rollback, reduced configuration drift, faster recovery, more predictable deployment, and a smaller attack surface. Container-specific OS, open use minimal, read-only images containing only the services required to run container workloads. Kubernetes, security guidance identifies specialized, reduced function operating system as one method of limiting the potential impact of a container escapes. No? Example niyan, kasi let's say, rather than manually updating 100 web server, halimbawa, handle mo 100 web server, an organization can build one updated image and redeploys all server from that verified image. Imagine kung gaano ka powerful yung immutable infrastructure. Another is automated configuration and infrastructure as code. You as administrator increasingly define infrastructure using scripts and configuration files rather than manually configuring per server. No? So example of tools and approaches include Ansible, no? Terraform, PowerShell desired state configuration, Chef, no? Puppet, no? Meron tayong Cloud Init, no? GitOps workflows, no? Let's say World City Colleges can use one infrastructure template to create a web server, no? Database server, firewall rules, no? Storage volumes, and monitoring services. The same template can be reused for deployment, testing, and production environments. Yun naman ang advantage ng automated configuration and infrastructure as a code. No? So how about advanced kernel observability? Modern OS provide deeper visibility into processes, network traffic, memory use, system calls, and kernel behavior. So, Linux technologies such as Extended Berkeley Packet Filter, ang tawag natin doon eBPF, allow controlled programs to execute within the kernel for networking, tracing, security, and performance analysis. Linux kernel interfaces include security checks, governing the creation and loading of BPF programs and maps. Yan po ay sa kernel documentation. Example, a cybersecurity team can use eBPF or yung ating tinatawag na Extended Berkeley Packet Filter tools or to observe unusual system calls or kaya naman detect suspicious network behavior or trace an application performance problem without extensively modifying the application. We have, of course, a cloud native and distributed operating system. Cloud computing has changed the traditional understanding of an operating system. In a personal computer, the operating system manages one machine. In a cloud environment po, the operational platform may manage thousands of machines as one large resource pool using cloud native and distributed operating system. Ano ba ang example niyan? Halimbawa, virtualization. Virtualization allows multiple virtual machines to run on one physical computer. And each virtual machine normally has its own guest operating system. No? Example, halimbawa po, one physical server may simultaneously run, pwedeng nagraran yung ating Windows Server virtual machine for accounting software sa isang physical server through virtualization. Pwede pong at the same time, kung nagraran yung Windows Server virtual machine for accounting software, pwede rin nagraran ang Linux virtual machine for a website. At pwede rin nagraran ng another Linux virtual machine for a database or a separate virtual machine for cybersecurity system, cybersecurity testing the same time using virtualization. No? Ano ba yung advantages naman po ng virtualization? Strong workload isolation po. It support for different operating systems. So very flexible po yan. Improve either po yan ay license or hindi or open source. It can improve hardware utilization. It can easier backup and recovery. And syempre, very flexible in testing environments. But of course, lahat naman po ng technology, lahat ng new technology, emerging technology, meron niyang mga limitations, no? Kung virtualization, merong advantages. Ang limitation niya, each virtual machine requires its own operating system. Memory storage overhead may be significant. No? Startup may take longer than containers and licensing may increase cost, no, sa virtualization. Ano naman yung containers? No? Containers isolate application while normally sharing the kernel of the host operating system because a complete guest operating system is not required for every container. Containers are generally more lightweight than virtual machine. Kubernetes documentation explained that containers share the operating system while maintaining separate file system, separate CPU allocation, separate memory allocation, and process spaces. And their separation from underlying infrastructure also improve portability across clouds and operating system distribution. So sa ma-assign dun sa ano no sa Kubernetes, marami tayong matututunan diyan as advanced ngayon sa operating system. Ang example po niya no, let's say online enrollment system na ina-adapt po ng perpetual ano, they may separate into container, let's say for user authentication, student records, payment processing, notification, report generation, saka database access. Because each component can be updated and scaled independently. Yun ang advantage niya kapag naka-container siya. Container orchestration, running a few containers manually is manageable. Running thousands require orchestration na po yan. Yung Kubernetes, Kubernetes ba to? Kubernetes, no? Provides capabilities such as application deployment, automated scaling, service discovery, load balancing, failure recovery, rolling updates, resource allocation, configuration management, and secret management. Ang example niyan, halimbawa sa perpetual no during enrollment period, the number of users accessing a university portal may increase dramatically. So Kubernetes can create additional application instances when workload demands rises and remove them when demand decreases, no? We have of course what we call microservices, no? A monolithic application places many functions inside one large system. So a microservices architecture divides the application into smaller services that communicate over a network. Ano naman yung advantages ng microservices? Isa dyan, independent deployment, no? Independent scaling, smaller development units, technology flexibility, at syempre, improve fault containment. Ano yung mga challenges sa ating microservices? Syempre, kung tayo magagamit ng microservices, challenge sa atin yung more complex networking, difficult troubleshooting, distributed data management, increased securing requirements, and greater monitoring requirements. No? So, microservices kasi do not automatically improve every application. No? So, a small institution with limited technical staff may find a well-designed monolithic application easier and less expensive to maintain. Siyempre, kung meron tayong mga virtualization, meron tayo ngayong serviceless computing. Meron na po ba sa inyong gumagamit ng serviceless computing sa inyong company kung saan kayo connected ngayon? Meron na? Ano naman po ba yung serviceless computing? Serviceless computing allows developers to execute function or application without directly managing servers. No? The cloud provider handles infrastructure provisioning, operating system maintenance, and scaling. The term serviceless does not mean that no servers exist. Ha? Baka mamaya ay walang server, no? It means that the customer does not directly manage the underlying servers, no? So,
Sir, excuse me po. Sorry
yes
to
po.
interrupt you po. Sir, may pine-present po ba kayo? Or
No,
kasi
no, it's just only
naka-steady lang po.
no. It's just only the first slide.
Okay po. Sige. Thank you po.
Okay. It's just only an introduction actually, no? So, I'll just want to give you the total content of advanced operating system for the entire semester. So I will introduce the topics that we had for the entire semester. Na? So for you to be guided what we're looking at during your presentation. Okay? Okay, and I'll just also give because as you can see, I can discuss chapter 1, no? So the presentation started from chapter 2 onwards, no? Okay, so the again, no, the serverless computing, no? Advantages niya, pay-per-use model, meron tayong automatic scaling, reduce administrative work, and rapid deployment. Ano yung limitation naman ng serverless? Siyempre, vendor dependency po yan, no? Execution time limits, cold start delays, difficult local testing, at saka yung limited control over the operating environment. Next will be the distributed resource management. Modern cloud platforms schedule workloads according to the available CPU, available memory, storage capacity, network condition, hardware characteristics, security policies, energy use, geographic location, and data residency requirements. No? The current Kubernetes resource management practices commonly replace a pod after its resource specification is updated rather than manually modifying every running application instance. No? So, siguro, no, sabi nga natin, sir, is Kubernetes becoming an operating system for the data center? One perspective is that Kubernetes performs operating system like function as the cluster level. It is schedule workloads, manage resources, handles failures, and provide abstraction. However, Kubernetes still depends on underlying operating system, container runtimes, network and storage platforms. It is therefore more accurate to describe it as a cluster management and orchestration platform rather than a complete replacement for the operating system. How about right now, mobile, edge, and Internet of Things operating system. Mobile operating system must manage limited battery capacity, cellular connectivity, sensors, cameras, application permission, touch interfaces, location services, and different hardware configuration. Meron tayong Android saka iOS. Yun ang pinaka-dominant right now. So modern mobile operating system increasingly include, meron na po yan mga yon. Ngayon po, meron ng application sandboxing yung mga iOS saka Android na mobile. Meron na silang biometric authentication, encrypted storage, permission management, background process restriction. Meron na silang AI-assisted features, di po ba? Meron silang secure application stores. They have device allocation services, health data integration, at ngayon may cross-device synchronization. Android now integrates AI-oriented capabilities into the user environment, including contextual assistance, image-based search, notification tools, and device protection features. Halimbawa po, no? A mobile or a mobile devices, no, or a mobile operating system may suspend a background application to save power, no, restrict its access to location information, or prevent it from reading another application's private data. Kaya na natin makontrol ngayon ang ating mobile through the advanced operating system, no, ng ating either yan ay iOS po or kaya Android. So, ano naman yung edge computing? Edge computing processes data near the location where it is generated rather than sending everything to a centralized cloud. No? So, example, di ba sa Pilipinas, meron tayong smart traffic cameras, meron na mga factory sensors, may autonomous vehicles na tayo, may medical monitoring devices na po tayo, retail analytics systems, disaster warning systems, agricultural sensors, at saka smart building system. Again, a smart CCTV system detecting improper waste disposal may process video locally. Only the detected event image evidence, and alert are transmitted to the central server. And syempre, this reduces bandwidth use and support faster response. Na? How about the Internet of Things operating system? Huh? IoT devices often have limited memory, processing power, energy, kahit po ang storage. So their operating system may need to be extremely small. Katulad po ng FreeRTOS, Zephyr, Riot, Embedded Linux, saka Contiki NG. The common requirements po niyan, low power consumption, real-time response, reliable sensor communication, small memory footprint, secure remote updating, hardware portability, at saka yung fault tolerance. How about the real-time operating system? A real-time operating system may bisita na sa may tanong lang. Sige, mamaya. Tapusin ko lang ito. Malapit na ba? Okay. Hindi. Kasi check ko naman yan, thesis mo. Sige lang. Sandali na lang to. Okay. Sige. Okay. So, saan ako huminto? Real-time operating system, no? A real-time operating system must respond within predictable timing constraint. So, two classification are commonly discussed. Na mayroon tayong tinatawag na hard real-time system at mayroon tayong soft real-time system. Hard real-time system, missing a deadline may cause system failure or serious harm. Katulad nung kapag sinabi natin kasing hard real-time system, ano bang application yan? Aircraft control system, pag nagka-problema yan, delikado. Pacemakers, industrial safety system, at saka yung anti-lock braking system. Pag soft real-time system, missing a deadline, reduce service quality but is not necessarily catastrophic. Katulad ng video streaming, online gaming, voice communication, saka multimedia application. So, should a general purpose operating system be used for life-critical medical equipment? Siyempre, ang sagot dyan depende on certification. No? Timing guarantees, fault tolerance mechanism, system design, and regulatory requirements. Because general purpose systems may support some medical application but safety critical control function usually require more predictable and thoroughly validated platforms. Artificial intelligence and operating system. No? Artificial intelligence affects operating system into two major ways. No? Operating system must support increasingly demanding AI workloads, and ang artificial intelligence can be used to improve operating system management. Operating system supporting AI workloads. No? AI application required efficient management po. Saan ginagamit? Saan po? Sa graphics processing unit, sa tensor processing accelerators, sa large memory spaces, high-speed storage, what else? Distributed networks, no? Large data sets, no? Parallel processing, power consumption, at saka sa thermal condition. Let's say, for example, training a large machine learning model may require hundreds of graphics processing units operating across multiple servers. The operating environment must coordinate processor, memory, storage, communication, failures, and workload scheduling. How about heterogeneous computing? Modern system combine different processor. Pwede kasing yung central processing units, graphics processing units, neural processing units, tensor processing units, field programmable gate arrays, o kaya naman ay specialized AI accelerator. The operating system must determine which processor should execute each workload. Halimbawa, a laptop may use its central processor for formal application, graphics processor for rendering, and neural processing unit for local AI tasks such as noise reduction, image enhancement, or language processing. How about AI-assisted resource management? Sa AI-assisted resource management, machine learning may assist Saan ba? CPU scheduling pwede. Memory allocation pwede. Storage caching pwede. Workload placement, network optimization, energy management, ano pa? Failure prediction, intrusion detection, at saka po sa automated troubleshooting. Halimbawa, instead of waiting for a server to become overloaded, an intelligent system may analyze historical utilization and predict that additional capacity will be required during enrollment week. We have, of course, AI-driven security. No? Operating system generates large quantities of logs and telemetry. AI models can identify patterns that may indicate malware, o kaya credential theft, unusual system calls, unauthorized access, privilege escalation, data exfiltration, or kaya yung abnormal network traffic. Halimbawa po, a user normally accesses the system from Quezon City during office hours. The system detects a log from another country at 2 a.m., followed by unusual large file transfer. So an AI-assisted security platform may block the session and request additional verification. Risk of AI-based operating system decision. Kasi AI-supported OS also create concerns katulad ng incorrect prediction, pwedeng unexplained decision, model bias, or kaya privacy risk, adversarial attacks, or excessive data collection, dependence on training data, difficult auditing automated action. An AI-based po scheduler may improve average system performance, but ang disadvantage, certain application. We need to accept the fact that a security model may incorrectly classify legitimate activity as malicious. So your organization therefore need a human oversight, explainable decision, audit logs, fallback rules, and clearly redefine accountability. Okay? So this chapter 1, no, again, I'll just want to summarize, no, what I have discussed, no, earlier on chapter 1. So we need to understand that modern operating systems are no longer limited to managing one desktop computer. They operate across server, mobile devices, cloud clusters, embedded system, industrial equipment, and artificial intelligence infrastructure. So the major trends, meron tayong hybrid and multi-cloud management, virtualization and containerization, cloud-native orchestration, meron tayong reduced downtime patching, immutable infrastructure, infrastructure as code, zero trust security as what we discussed earlier, advanced system observability, mobile and edge computing, real-time and Internet of Things platform, hardware accelerators, AI-assisted resource management, automated security and anomaly detection, and energy efficient and sustainable accounting. So, the operating system remains relevant because every abstraction eventually depends on physical resources. Cloud services still require processors, memory storage, networks, operating system, security controls, and administrators. Containers still depends on your kernels. AI still depends on resource scheduling. Mobile applications still depend on permission, memory management, power management, and secure execution. So a private higher education institution currently operates its enrollment system, learning management system, accounting system, and website using several aging physical server. So user experience is low performance during enrollment. System administrators perform updates manually and backup procedures are inconsistent. Management is considering migrating some services to the cloud while retaining sensitive student records on campus. So, kapag tinanong niyo ako, ano po kaya, Doc, ang recommended operating system and infrastructure strategy? Sa tingin ninyo, ano kaya yung recommended operating system and infrastructure strategy right now? So, syempre, hybrid cloud architecture, virtualization for legacy application, pwedeng container for newly developed web application, centralized identity and access management, o kaya naman automated backup and disaster recovery, infrastructure as code practices, centralized logging and monitoring, zero trust security policies, scheduled pass management, encryption for data at rest and in transit. Mahalaga po ito, no, yung encryption, scalability testing before enrollment, and a phased migration instead of immediate full migration. You should also ano po yung financial cost, staff capability, application compatibility, internet reliability po, baka ang bagal ng iyong connection, regulatory requirements must be complied, especially with data privacy, no? Kailangan tayong aware doon, business continuity at saka yung vendor dependency. Okay, so again, operating system continue to evolve because the environments they manage are becoming more distributed, intelligent, interconnected, and security sensitive. No? So the modern OS may manage a personal device, a cloud cluster, an industrial machines, an autonomous vehicle, or a large artificial intelligence workload. You must therefore understand not only how operating system work, but also how operating system decisions influence institutional performance, cybersecurity, privacy, sustainability, and digital transformation. So this course will require us to examine operating system as both technical platforms and strategic organizational resources. Your task is not simply to identify which operating system is the most popular. Your task is to determine which architecture, platform, and management approach best address a specific problem under specific conditions using evidence and sound technical judgment. Okay? So I think that's it for topic number 1 or module number 1.